All right, so let's talk. Obviously, the most heated debate is Shays and Farrell.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. I mean, as far as Connecticut goes, it's got to be the tightest race aside from the Lieberman challenge. You know,
Absolutely. I checked the polls last night, and as of last night, it was 43 to 43. And Shays has 20% of his voters say that they might sway one way or another by November 7th. And then Farrell said her voters said 15% of them said that they would sway come November 7th too. So I mean, it really is anyone's race, and it's like the top 20 in the nation.
Absolutely. I thought, maybe the Shays withdrawal plan, which was set to come out sometime this month, was going to sway a lot of voters to his side, but he hasn't really executed it very well, and he hasn't really had a scheme of withdrawal. And prior to that, he really aligned himself with President Bush a little too much. I think that hurt his chances. But he kind of flip-flopped with the whole Iraq thing, 14 trips, and, nothing really changed. So,
Yeah, he's definitely taking his stance back now.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. But I think, it was a tight rate last time. It was 2 points, I think Diana Farrell's a shot, but it's going to be close. It's going to be tough.
In the debate that I covered 2 weeks ago, Shays criticized Farrell a lot about, she had some great criticisms, but she had no solution for any of them. It was really true. As just a viewer and watching it, I saw that she had some really great ideas and everything, but when it came to like hardcore solution, and you could tell she got really uptight about it, like, that because he called her out totally. She's like, okay, I really don't, but she was trying to cover her own tracks. And then Phil Maiman, he's also running, and he's a libertarian. He was so funny during the whole thing. He just made them laugh. He was talking about them being like an old married couple just bickering back and forth, and he got the most reaction out of anyone. People absolutely loved him, but I think that's because that was his area, and he had a lot of his people there, just to see him and cheer him on.
Yeah, I mean, Farrell kind of jump-started the whole thing with her, all these critics, all this criticism of Shays with her, anti-Shays campaign ad, but she hasn't had a whole lot of methods of attack herself, so, I mean, that's going to come to maybe fire back at her. She needs to come up with something quick in order to catapult to the top, really, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tight. Like I said before, it's going to be a close battle.
Mm-hmm. So what's the one that you covered again?
We covered Nancy Johnson versus Chris Murphy in the 5th District, and as of some stats from last night, Chris Murphy was at 45% and Nancy Johnson was at 40%. So again, it's close. It's not as close as like Farrell and Shays, but a lot of people want to see Nancy Johnson stay because she's already been in that position for so long, but then in the same token, a lot of people want to kick her out. They want some new meat in there, some new ideas. Some people are really disappointed with her views on healthcare, her views on education, all kinds of stuff. So it could go either way at this point.
Yeah, as pretty much almost all of them, except for there's one that for the most part they're pretty tight. Congressional.
Chris Murphy's winning that, though.
Yeah.
It's that Irish pride, you know what I'm saying?
Irish.
Yeah, he's winning that. He's winning that.
Got it.
But we'll see.
Yeah. And Anastasia, who did you cover?
I'm covering the 1st District, which is involving Scott McLean and John B. Larson. And Larson is an incumbent. He's running for his 5th term. Scott McLean, I feel like a lot of people aren't really in favor of him because he's new to politics. He's a television news director, and he's an ordained minister, so his knowledge of politics isn't so much there as like Larson is. So I pretty much feel like Larson has it in the bag, definitely. He's already done a lot in Congress. He's been president pro tempore, and he's already getting laws passed. He has strong views about the war in Iraq. He doesn't support the war, but he supports the troops. He's visited Iraq 3 times already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then District 3 was covered by Carrie, and she was saying that Rosa DeLauro pretty much has it in the bag. So, I mean...
Oh, it's going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah, she's been an incumbent for years.
Mm-hmm. So, that's pretty much the only one, and then yours sounds like you kind of might have it in the bag, but it's a little tight. But other than that, most of them are pretty close. It's a really exciting race. So, we'll just...
I think in the end, it's going to be the Shays, Farrell's going to be the toughest. It's going to really be the most heavily watched, most...
Well, and like you guys said too, it's not just like local Connecticut news anymore. It's making like national news.
Yep. And the theme for all this is just the Iraq War, really, which is just in shambles right now. It's getting worse every day. It's been horrible.
I read a statistic
So-
that 24% of the issues, you know, people thought it was, the first would be the Iraq War, 18% was the economy, and 17% was terrorism. So it's obvious that, you know, the Iraq War is on everyone's mind,
Yep,
so.
And then Social Security ties in there,
Mhm.
so.
yep,
Mhm.
everything too.
So.
That's definitely gonna be the big thing within the aforementioned Chase Farrell.
Mhm.
But you know, Chase, he's from Bridgeport, so you know, he's a soldier on general purpose, you know.
Mhm.
He's a political gangster.
Mhm.
So-
He's your brother.
Yeah, yeah,
He is my
Yeah.
brother.
yeah.
Yeah, even if you look at like the newscasts and read the newspapers, the main focus is like on the Shays
Mhm.
Yep.
and Farrell campaign. Like they don't focus on the other districts as much.
Mhm.